On the edge of a quiet little village, surrounded by tall green trees and sweet-smelling flowers, lived a clever crow named Coco. Coco was not the biggest bird in the forest, nor the fastest, but he was known far and wide for one special gift: his intelligence. Whenever the animals faced a problem, they would come to Coco, because he always found a smart and surprising solution. One hot summer afternoon, the sun glowed fiercely, heating the ground until it almost sizzled. The streams nearby had dried up, the leaves had curled with thirst, and even the wind seemed too tired to blow. Coco flew high above the forest, his wings growing heavy as he searched for a drop of water. His throat felt dry, and his feathers were dusty from the scorching heat. "I must find water soon," Coco murmured to himself, landing on a branch to rest. He looked around carefully. Birds had flown far away, animals hid under trees, and everything appeared silent. Just when Coco was about to continue his search, something shiny caught his eye near a deserted cottage. Curious, he fluttered down and discovered an old clay pitcher lying among some dry grass. The pitcher was cracked in a few places, but it still looked strong. Coco hopped closer and peeked inside. His heart leaped with hope. At the bottom of the pitcher lay a small puddle of water, but the water was far too deep for Coco's beak to reach. Coco tried tilting the pitcher, but it was too heavy. He tried dipping his beak as far as he could, but still, the water was just out of reach. He even tried flapping his wings to push the pitcher over, but it didn't budge. Coco sighed and sat beside it. He was so thirsty, but nothing seemed to work. Just then, a tortoise named Timo slowly crawled by. "You look troubled, Coco," Timo said in his calm, steady voice. "There's water in this pitcher," Coco replied, "but I can't reach it." Timo peeked inside and nodded. Maybe you should try again later," he suggested gently, but Coco shook his head. "No, there must be a way." Coco believed that every problem had a solution if only one thought smartly. As Timo moved on, Coco spotted something on the ground, small round pebbles scattered near the pitcher. Suddenly, an idea sparkled in his mind. "Pebbles! That's it!" he exclaimed. Without wasting a moment, he picked up a pebble with his beak and dropped it into the pitcher. Plop! The pebble sank to the bottom. Coco carefully watched the water. It moved a little, but not enough. He picked up another pebble. Plop! Then another and another. Pebble by pebble, Coco worked tirelessly, dropping each one into the pitcher. Slowly, the water began to rise. The sun was still blazing, and Coco's wings grew tired, but he didn't stop. His clever plan was working, and that gave him strength. Soon, the water rose high enough for Coco to finally dip his beak into the pitcher. "Ha!" he sighed happily as the cool water refreshed him. Every drop felt like a gift from the sky. Just then, a group of young birds arrived, chirping excitedly. They had seen Coco's clever trick from a nearby tree. "Coco, you're amazing," one of them squeaked. "How did you think of that?" Coco smiled proudly but gently. "When something looks impossible, don't give up. Stop, think, and use your brain. There is always a way." The news of Coco's clever solution spread across the forest. Animals admired his intelligence, and many came to learn from him. Even the wise old owl nodded in approval when he heard the story. Days later, during another hot afternoon, Coco noticed a squirrel struggling to open a tightly sealed jar of nuts. The squirrel pushed and tugged, but nothing worked. "Try using a stick for leverage," Coco suggested kindly. The squirrel tried it and pop, the lid opened. The squirrel squeaked with joy, thanking Coco for teaching him how to think smart. Coco felt proud. It wasn't just about solving his own problems, he was helping others think cleverly too. From that day on, whenever anyone in the forest faced a challenge, they remembered Coco's wise words. Use your intelligence, and no problem is too big. And every time Coco passed by the old pitcher, he smiled. It stood there as a reminder of the day he proved that even the smallest bird can achieve great things if they think wisely. Moral of the story: Using intelligence and creative thinking helps solve even the toughest problems. Never give up, think smart.